Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes here. Early morning crypto talk. Bitcoin Brandon. What is the old saying? Thank God it's Friday. TGIF. Hope you guys had a great week. Getting ready for the weekend. The clock is ticking. We have a lot going on and taking place. Less than a week for our soft launch. What is that, Christy? 9 degrees in Alaska? BTC's gone back up to 9K. What did it dip to last night? I think 8,600 or so. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, share my opinion, give suggestions, and it's up to you to make an informed decision on what to do with that information. If you follow my 4 core beliefs, you will have a successful time in the crypto space. Number 1, education. Education is the key, and we got you covered with that with Cryptogenics. Number 2, never invest with money you cannot afford to lose. Number 3, always get your ROI, which is return on investment, as fast as possible. And finally, have a game plan. A game plan, a backup plan, and a backup plan to that. A, B, C, and D. Where do you want to be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year from now? What is your plan to get there? Don't get distracted. You have limited resources, and there are so many things to get distracted with out there. And if you follow this format, you will limit your risk in the crypto space. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Got 2 articles we're going to cover this morning. But before that, let's look at the coin market cap, because some funny things was happening yesterday. We don't know if it was the supposed hack of Binance or SEC regulations that caused the market to spook itself, drop from 11,000 all the way down to right now it's at 8,700. You know, we don't know. But whatever it was, it happened. It took place. So the market cap is at 358 billion. That's pretty low for lately. The Bitcoin is at 8,700. Ethereum is at 685. Bitcoin Cash is 954. So for the first time in a long time, only one coin is over the $1,000 mark. And that's Bitcoin. That meant Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash have all dropped drastically. But it's not that bad. You know, it goes through these changes. Cardano was down 14%. Oh, you definitely want to buy. It's only at 20 cents a coin right now. Definitely want to buy up that. But the entire board, except for Loopring, H-Share, Smart Cash, Singularity, and Bitcore are in the green. Everybody else is in the red. So we'll see how this plays out for the rest of the day. But the first article we're going to go over is Europe. This came out last night. Europe's clocks are running slow, and crypto mining is to blame. Oh, that's how's that? How is crypto mining to blame for Europe's clocks running slow? Well, let's take a look at this article here. From wrecking the environment to making it harder to search for alien life, cryptocurrency mining has been blamed for a multitude of sins. But to cause time itself to slow down is a fresh charge, and one which on the surface sounds impossible. Something strange is happening in Central Europe right now. Clocks are running slow, and not by fractions of a second, but entire minutes. Could large-scale crypto mining be responsible, or is it being made a convenient scapegoat? Well, I don't have an opinion. Let's read the article before I make an opinion on this. Overclocked miners may be slowing the clocks. Ever since mid-January, the continental European power system has been experiencing anomalies. This huge belt of 25 countries running from Spain to Turkey and from Poland to the Netherlands. You know, my mind, I never really can fathom that. Now, I am going to Europe next month. We'll be in London in April, and then Sweden that same week. And what's interesting to me, I think that the flight time is an hour and a half between London and Sweden. And I think I'm in California. I fly an hour and a half north. I'm still in California. So this is amazing to me. You know, in Europe, you've got all these countries bunched together with all these different languages. Like in the United States, we travel from state to state. So, a little sidetrack there. Here, 25 countries running from Spain to Turkey and from Poland to the Netherlands has been subject to a continuous system frequency deviation from the mean value of 50 Hz, reports the European Network of Transmission System Operators for Electricity. The location of the disturbance has been identified, Kosovo and Serbia, but the cause has not. The power deviations that have been affecting electrical frequency have had the weird knock-on effect of delaying clocks that calculate their time based on the frequency of the power system. As a result, these are running at a delay of close to 6 minutes. It's unclear exactly how this slowdown manifests itself over what period, and whether these clocks can be manually adjusted to show the correct time. What is clear is that the power drain responsible for the anomaly is huge. 113 gigawatts, which is equivalent to the power consumption of Greenland for 6 months. Central heating timers and oven clocks are among those affected. Oven clocks. The search for a culprit intensifies. USI is clearly unhappy about the missing power and its strange side effects. In fact, it's seething, but it's literally powerless to act. The situation, it acknowledges, is largely a political one that will require the cooperation of the countries suspected of causing the huge power drain. On the Swiss Grid website, the current deviation from 50 Hz can be viewed in real time. At the time of publication, it was sitting at 49.970 Hz, causing a grid time deviation of 345 seconds, the site explains. There are still many clocks which go by the frequency in the electricity grid. If the frequency is higher, they go faster. If the frequency is lower, they go more slowly. Well, then that's just plain idiotic. That doesn't make any sense. Why have it based on that? Now, I'm not an electrician or anything, so I don't know. But that just doesn't make sense to me. The question of what could be siphoning off electricity on such a grand scale remains unresolved. It could be a top secret project involving a particle accelerator akin to the Large Hadron Collider. It could be government impropriety or incompetence, or it could be crypto miners. Suspicions are falling on the latter option. Electricity rates in Serbia and Kosovo are among Europe's cheapest, with the price of mining 1 Bitcoin in these regions estimated to be $3,133, placing them on par with China. The first step to resolving the issues is to cease the deviation, writes USI. The second step is to compensate for the missing amount of energy. Crypto miners could yet be exonerated of all charges, but until the culprit can be identified, an enormous rogue mining operation remains a strong possibility. Oh, let me stop right there. This isn't difficult. I mean, Kosovo and Serbia are not the largest mining districts in the world. So all you have to do is look at places where there are huge mining going on and see, is the same result taking place in those areas? Russia has an entire section of their country, larger than Texas, that's completely developed just to mine Ethereum. Are they experiencing slow clocks there? What about China? China has huge regions that's only doing Bitcoin mining. Is the electricity consumption slowing down the clocks over there? What about Wyoming? Wyoming just had, in the past couple of months, 3 major contracts signed for huge mining farms. Are they also experiencing slow clocks? I mean, you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure this thing out. Just look at what's going on in other areas and see if they're experiencing the same results. If they are not, then you mark off your list cryptocurrency mining as a culprit. If you can tell what area the huge surge is happening, then go to that area, read the freaking meters to see which neighborhoods, which houses, which zones are sucking up all the energy, and then investigate as to why. It's not rocket science. But I think they want to use crypto. You know what what might be really happening here? What if there is a secret project going on in Serbia and Kosovo? There might be a secret project, and they're going to, instead of, identifying that secret project because it's secret, oh yeah, don't worry about that mining, the power consumption. There's crypto miners there, using crypto miners as a scapegoat. Yes, the miners. Don't look over here. We got a secret base going on. We're like agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We got bases all over the place that the government doesn't know about. Nevertheless, I thought that was interesting. Mining is slowing down the clocks. Get out of here with that. Then the whole state of New York will be slowing down the clocks with their power consumption. That doesn't make any sense. But it is an interesting read. All right, this one might be just a little bit long. I've been sitting on this one for a while. Well, meaning one day. The psychology of a successful cryptocurrency investor. So let me get something to drink here. I definitely want to pay attention to this because the whole point of getting into the crypto space is because you guys want to invest. You want to make a profit. So, I posted this the other day. If you want to be successful in anything, in any field, find somebody who is already successful at what it is you want to do, duplicate exactly what they do, and then do just a little bit more. I'm going to give you some free advice here that I learned a long time ago as well. And I learned this the hard way by trial and error. Because I was sitting in a room, this was back in my early days when I was in network marketing. And straight out of college, I joined a company called ACN. And as a 21, 22-year-old kid, I was sitting in the audience and I was listening to these 7-figure earners in front of the room talking about their success. And everybody was always wanted to take pictures with them and shake their hand and introduce themselves. And whenever they asked questions, people will always ask them, how did you get to where you are? What do you do right now? Blah, 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 blah. But I asked different questions. I asked, what did you do at the beginning? I don't want to know what you're doing right now. What did you do at the beginning that developed the habits that you have today? I want to know, what was life for you when you first started out and you were broke? What was your daily routines like? Now, one thing about successful people, we tell stories all the time. However, most people never ask about our struggle. All you see is a success. And you might look at it as an overnight success when it took 20 years to get there. So you see 2 years of success. I want to know about the other 18. Tell me about that. So you do exactly what they did, and then you do just a little bit more. So I want to be a successful cryptocurrency investor. So when I see an article that says the psychology of a successful cryptocurrency investor, then yeah, I am all ears. But I'm also educated as well. So I'm going to read this article with a hint of skepticism to see what they determine a successful cryptocurrency entrepreneur or investor really is. So let's read. If you're new to cryptocurrency, you are probably sucked into this rabbit hole for one of three reasons. You heard about the hype regarding Bitcoin, Litecoin, or another very popular coin, and you wanted to be one of the first adopters of a potentially world-changing piece of technology. I agree with that. You saw the returns that people were getting from cryptocurrencies and heard the stories of folks that had gone from a $100 investment to sitting in a mansion with 2 Lamborghinis outside. All right, you know, what do I always say? Because I started with $100. That's what's funny. I started with $100. Now, as far as a mansion and 2 Lamborghinis sitting outside, let's revisit that at the end of the year. But I started with $100. And I made, I don't want to say how much I've made. I've had huge success. And then number 3, reasons 1 and 2. So yeah, I agree with those. That's kind of funny there. I will not make any assumptions about what attracted you to this fear. But I will make some inferences based on what I know about human nature as well as the cryptocurrency field. Okay, who's the author of this? This is by Crypto Medication. I am not familiar. I must have read his articles, but not familiar with him. Says, more than likely, you are completely aware of the absurd amount of money being raised and transferred to the cryptocurrency space. At the time of writing, the entire space is worth approximately $429 billion. And ICOs, or newly released coins, which garnered a whopping $5.6 billion in 2017 alone. These numbers are enough to tempt any rational, money-driven, which most of us are, individual to at least peruse some of the options available at his or her disposal to accrue more money. I agree. If you have taken it upon yourself to do so, then you have more than likely stumbled on the fact that there are a healthy amount of exchanges out there that allow people to trade between hundreds of cryptocurrencies. As a matter of fact, there's over 9,240 markets to trade crypto on. You heard that right. 9,240, and not one of them is regulated. You're going to see a change this year. You're going to see more of these sites that are regulated. Self-regulated for some of them. So, hundreds, yes, there are hundreds upon hundreds of different cryptocurrencies and tokens that are currently being traded on the open market with crypto. Maybe you have analyzed some of the charts for these cryptocurrencies and you realize that a few of them were accruing absurd profits. So you have decided to foray into the world of investing in cryptocurrency. That's another problem I have with the crypto space. The fact that anybody with $5 can get in. And then all of a sudden these people consider themselves investors. No, you're not. Not yet. You're not an investor yet. You're just sticking your toe in the water. There's a reason why the stock market, to be considered serious, is at least $250,000 to $1 million invested. No, you're just throwing money at it to see what's going to happen. You're not an investor yet. So what now? The rest of this article will be dedicated to warning you against the pitfalls of cryptocurrency investing. And there are a considerable number of them if you are not vigilant and careful. Why am I reading this now? This should be in our training section. Be wary of Twitter social media personalities. One of the first things you may have noticed after deciding to invest in cryptocurrency is that there are many individuals in the space that claim to be experts on all things related to cryptocurrency. Isn't that funny? Here's the thing. I do not claim to be an expert. Not at all. I am always learning. I'm not a beginner. But in my experience, there's no such thing as a cryptocurrency expert. Oh, Brandon, what are you talking about? I know one guy, he made $3 million in crypto, last year. Yeah, he can lose $3 million this year because he doesn't control the markets. The closest thing that I would consider something as a cryptocurrency investor are probably bots. Bots that are able to have programmed algorithms that move much faster than the human can compete and think like. The other closest thing I will say expert would be when the Wall Street clowns come into this space. They've been doing this for 10 years plus, and they use their own formula in the cryptocurrency space for market manipulation and the whales. But 9 times out of 10, somebody that's claiming themselves to be an expert is not an expert. I do not claim to be an expert. I just know more than most. And if you stop learning, then not only are you further from an expert, but you are now dealing with obsolete information. Obsolete. Do you know most kids are in school today? By the time they graduate from college, they've been prepared for a world that no longer exists. Their college degree is useless. They didn't learn an actual skill set outside a doctor, maybe lawyer. All right, let me continue the article. Few of them are identifiable by name and usually have some animated character or figure as a profile picture rather than any identifiable account. A few are at least smart enough to give the disclaimer they are not financial advisors. Oh, wow, okay, well, I call myself Bitcoin Brandon, and I say that I am not a financial advisor as a disclaimer at the beginning. And I'm still not an expert. Unfortunately, a great many of these individuals have absolutely no clue what they are talking about, and following them will lead to substantial losses if you are not careful. I agree with that. A lot of these clowns that do Facebook Lives and are claiming to be experts have their own little private groups going on. And then if they even I know people out there, yeah, I got a little private group going on. You know, it costs you some money to be in my group to get my alerts and trades. Get out of here with that. Don't be falling for any of that stuff. I don't sell my services. The closest thing to that is I promote an educational platform. It's not about me. You got to be careful. But here's some examples. Okay, this article's calling people out. Oh, and before I go there, someone will say, well, Brandon, what if people listen to what you say and they lose money? Weren't you part of programs that didn't last? Do you think that people lost money because they followed you on programs? Here's the deal. If anybody that's followed me in any program that I was a part of or anything that I did, if you followed what I've been teaching since day one, this 4 principles, you didn't lose money. Principle number 1 is education. Principle number 2, never invest with money you cannot afford to lose. I didn't tell you to go and mortgage your home, to sell your car, to put your life savings in your 401k. You decide to do that, not me. I started with $100. I didn't sell my car for that. Number 2, I'm sorry, number 3, return on investment. In my experience, here's what I have found. Regardless of the program, maybe except for mining, typically it takes 2 to 3 months to make your investment back if you don't get in greedy and all you do is take out profit. No matter what you're doing, 2 to 3 months to make your profit back is what I have found. And then number 4, have a game plan. Be focused. Have a backup plan to your backup plan to your backup plan. You know, don't jump on every single ICO because you saw somebody post about it on Facebook. The one time I got distracted around October, November of last year was when the ICO craze came about. And all these ICOs were popping up. And I was listening to people that I should not have been listening to, because they seemed to know what they were talking about. And they're running their mouths about this ICO and that ICO. And I think I got in maybe 6 or 7 of them. And only one of them panned out. Fortunately for me, that one that panned out made me a whole lot of money. But that was like the shotgun approach. I just threw money at a whole bunch of stuff to see which one stuck. And I didn't use money that I couldn't afford to lose in the same time. So even though I lost on 6 of them, the money I made on one was far greater than what I lost. But that's not everybody. Have a game plan, stay focused, and don't get distracted. If you follow those things, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You don't eliminate your risk. You limit your risk. But you'll still have people that go out there, don't follow that, listen to something I say, lose money, and then say, because of Brandon, I lost money. It's happened. Somebody shot me a screenshot of a convo from people I don't even know that said that about me. That's okay. That's the way it is. But he's calling out this guy, someone named Eric Thice. King Thice on Twitter. So he tweeted an image, and this is kind of small. BTC USD, the market going up and down, and he just has like like a thinking smiley face. So this says, those that were unfortunate enough to listen to the half-ass advice that was given by this trader and decided to enter in this range would be down nearly 20%. Yeah, what the? Are you kidding me? This is like the news. If you can't see if you're not looking at the article, BTC rose up high. Can I make this screen bigger? I can't tell what the number is. But BTC was at high. And this dude's telling buy BTC. No. You don't buy high. You sell high and buy low. This dude told everybody to buy it when it was high. That's like the media. The news does that. Bitcoin's almost at 19,000. Get your piece of the pie. Buy, buy, buy. Don't get left out. Fear of missing out. Bitcoin drops to $12,000. We told you it was going to crash. Don't lose all your savings. You should sell now. Sell your Bitcoin now so you don't lose everything. That's what the news was saying. What's that guy's name? Was it Jim Draper or Clapper or whatever? When is he ever right on the stock market? Yet he still got his own show. All right, let me finish this. Is there a possibility that the price of Bitcoin will eventually continue to rise at some point? Sure. However, there is no reason to take losses in an unnecessary situation. Never, ever, ever join a pump and dump group. That's the greedy mentality there. We've got an entire training section on pump and dump groups, so I'm not going to go into that here. You got to sign up with Cryptogenics to get that. But I'm going to tell you, the only people who win in a pump and dump group is a person who started the pump and dump group. All right? That's almost like a pyramid thing there. Because the people that, by the time they feed information to the group at the bottom, I mean, you're already down huge percentages, and you're probably going to end up taking a loss because you can't react fast enough. Well, let me read this. What does this have to say? Yep, that includes any and all signal groups, whale groups, dolphin groups, etc. You would not get rich there. Any concrete analysis rarely supports the entries and targets that many of these groups give, and most of them refuse to provide any. More than likely, if you attempt to follow these groups, you will end up losing a substantial sum of money in the long term. Following such groups will lead to your ultimate demise as an investor sooner rather than later, because you would not even be solvent enough to continue following some of the signals that are getting posted. Here's another thing about signals, and this is why, because we, with Cryptogenics, will be having an app. And our app is going to be sending signals, not signals from an individual looking at a chart, but signals from our bot. But here's the deal about that. It must be acted upon immediately. You can't get a signal at 9:30 a.m. and then decide to act on it at 12:30 on your lunch break. It's already over by that time. We're talking a matter of minutes, if that. You got to be on it, because you're dealing with a bot, and a bot is moving faster than you can move. And it should be used as a guide, not as the Holy Grail. I also want to manage expectations on that for anyone just using the bots and signals like that. Signals is a guide for you. At the end of the day, it's going to be your education that's going to make the difference. And let me continue. Now, there are times where nearly any call that is made will turn up successful because there is a flood of money rushing into the crypto space. December 2017 was one of those times. However, most of the time, this is not the case. Right now, for instance, anyone following signals would more than likely have lost over 40% of their initial position in just about any given cryptocurrency over the last month. Research compulsively. I'm very big on that one. Study up late researching. Wake up early to research. Why do I do an early morning crypto talk? I start my day with new information and knowledge. Why do I do a late night crypto talk? Because I end my day doing some cryptocurrency investigation and knowledge. That's exactly what this is saying here. Stay up late researching. Wake up early to research. Research until it hurts to research, and then research some more. Here's why you need to do this. As we noted earlier in this article, there is a crazy sum of money that can be made from crypto. There is no denying this fact. However, the vast majority of that money is made by those that know what they are doing, even if those people happen to be delivering the same information to you. They most likely have already made their moves and taken their stakes in something before they have even gotten around to writing about it or informing you. So even if you are lucky enough to run into someone that knows what they are talking about, it is more than likely that you will find yourself behind the curve anyway. That's why I do what I do. I don't listen to any of these so-called gurus out there. And I always have a skeptical eye when I read articles like this too. The very reason why research is crucial, it allows you to know everything about what is going on and not have to rely on individuals. Hey, I just said that. Then you will be able to use these experts for what they are really good for, a supplement to your research. That's what you should use me as, a supplement to your own research. For example, Sometimes I know who can chart correctly and who cannot. I follow the ones that can, and I will view their chart if I am unable to access mine out on the road, or I'm looking to see if there are any patterns that I missed. Based on my prior knowledge, I can see what has been posted and validate whether the idea that the trader had is legitimate or bull shit. Sometimes I see things that I didn't see before. I'm actually a part of a bunch of groups that people just add me to. And I'm silent in most of them. But I watch and I pay attention. And when I see somebody say something, oh, you guys, Neil's on the move, the first thing I do is I go to the charts and I take a look. I don't just take their word for it. I look at the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute candle, the 30-minute candle. Then I look at the last couple of days in the last week to see if I see a pattern. I look at the Bollinger Bars to see where they're going. Are they facing up or are they facing down? How long has the candlestick been in the red or in the green? And then I make my decision based on that. And I can tell if the guy is full of it or if he's just projecting. A lot of times what I have found is that people in these groups, they're also looking at the chart. And the Bollinger Bars could be pointing downward, but all of a sudden they see the candlesticks being green for a little bit. But the Bollinger Bars is still pointed downward and there's no volume being pumped in the system, which means the thing is about to keep dropping. But they say, time to buy. It's been down for 15 hours now. It's about to turn around. The candlestick's in the green. And I look at them like, no. No, it's not. It's still going to go down a little bit more. How many times, if you guys are a trade at all, how many times has this happened to you? The moment you buy, the thing goes down. And you're like, wait, hold on. What's going on? The moment you buy, it goes down. And you're like, man, how come everybody else is always getting it at the right time? And whenever I buy, it goes down. Or has this happened to you? The moment you decide to sell, then the market shoots up. And you could have made an extra 1 or 2% or 0.5%. You're like, well, why couldn't I just wait? Why is it every time I sell, the market goes up? Every time I buy, the market goes down. You know why that is the case? You're behind the curve. There's a little bit of forecasting that's need to be done. A little bit of forecasting and a little bit of luck. But you arm yourself with knowledge. Pay attention to the news because that impacts things. You might read from an obscure article that some coin is about to be listed on one of the major exchanges. Yeah, you might want to buy that coin before it gets listed on the exchanges. Make a quick 1,000%. All right, what do you mean by research? I mean research everything. You need to understand how cryptocurrency works from its fundamentals. See, cryptogenics is going to teach you the fundamentals. Just because you go through our training does not make you an expert at the end of the day. The greatest teacher is going to be applying the knowledge that you have. However, at least you have the fundamentals down. In basketball, my coach used to always say, the team with the best fundamentals will always beat the team with the most talent. The problem I have with the NBA today is that you've got a bunch of talented individuals with no fundamentals. You watch 80s and 90s basketball. Like, look at it like this. 60s and 70s basketball, all fundamentals. 80s and 90s basketball, you had fundamentals mixed with supreme talent. 2000 to today basketball, all talent. All talent. It's rare when you find fundamentals at work. I love watching Kyle Kuzma play. He's a rookie with the Lakers, but he's a 22-year-old rookie, which is kind of old. That's because he spent a gang of time in college. And the reason why I like watching him play is because he's supremely talented, but he's got the fundamentals down as well. He's got the fundamentals. His mid-range game will come later. The shooting percentage will go up, but he's got the fundamentals. He's got the footwork down. You look at the greats. Kobe Bryant had the fundamentals down. Michael Jordan, the fundamentals. Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental. Manu Ginobili, the reason why he can keep playing at a high level at his age, the fundamentals. John Stockton, Steve Nash, all those guys, the fundamentals. Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. The kids today, as talented as they are, no fundamentals. That's not a knock to them. It's just, if you take karate, you know who I like watching? I don't think he's on here right now, but Rosendo Polonis from Alaska. And he posts videos of him working out doing either taekwondo, kung fu, karate. And when I see when I'm doing it, to me it looks like a dance, but I'm looking at his footwork, his foundation, his movements, the fundamentals that it took him years to master. He's got the fundamentals down. So what cryptogenics is going to teach you guys is the fundamentals. And then you must take those fundamentals and put them to work. When I first learned how to trade, and then when it actually came time for me to actually trade, it took me forever to press that buy button. I had to get out on the court. Okay, let me finish. I'm going all sidetracked. Okay, yeah, you want to research everything. Know who Satoshi is. Why did he create Bitcoin? Where did he get the idea from? What is a blockchain? What are Merkle trees? How do I need to study that one even more. How do hash functions work? What is a hard fork? What is a chain split? What is a BIP? What is Bitcoin Core? Who is Gavin Andresen? Who is Charlie Lee? What is proof of work? What is ASIC? Who is Bitmain? How do fees work in the system? What is Cardano? What are ZK snarks? What is China's legislative policy on cryptocurrencies and exchanges at this moment? That's very important there. Because if you studied crypto last year, China was the #1 cryptocurrency where all the volume and exchanges was in the world last year. And now, that's not the case. China has banned all exchanges and cryptocurrency in the country. When just 8-9 months ago, they were #1 in the world. That's why you got to know what's currently happening. What is China's policy at the moment? How much are ICOs raising at the moment? What is the total market cap of cryptocurrencies at the moment? Right now, the total cap is 358 billion. Last week, it was 440 billion. In December, it had crossed over 750 billion. Know this. See, when you know these numbers, you see trends. I don't need to look at a report to know these numbers. I know what it was back then. I remember when Bitcoin's market cap alone was only at 40 billion. Right now, it's 148 billion. I remember when Ethereum's market cap was only 2 billion. Right now, it's 67 billion. See, education tells you this stuff. You know these things and you retain the information, and it helps you when you make decisions. Can I explain the concept behind Ripple without looking at anything? Can you guys explain the concept of Ripple? Even what's the controversy of Ripple? Why is it that the Bitcoin community doesn't like Ripple or looks at Ripple with a side eye? Because the banks love Ripple. And Ripple's more centralized than Bitcoin. And Ripple operates on their own blockchain. What does Wall Street think about cryptocurrency? What firms support and reject it? Who is Roger Ver? What is a block height? All those questions I just asked, ask yourself. Can you answer at least 25% of them? If you can't, you are nowhere near prepared and ready to invest in this space? You need to be able to answer. I can answer 100% of these questions. I do need to refresh up on Merkle trees and ZK snarks. But these are questions you must know. Not only do I know Cardano is, I believe personally Cardano is going to have the biggest volume increase this year as far as percentage out of all the currencies or cryptocurrencies. And that is just the fundamental aspect of everything. You also need to understand and read as much as you can about technical analysis too. And I'm bad at that. I'm bad at technical analysis because it's nerd talk to me and I get bored. It's also why I like turning on the audio, because doing the Facebook Live forces me to read some of this stuff that I might normally, pass over. So you need to research technical analysis. Who are the prominent traders? Who is not prominent? What is a good trading strategy? What is the MACD? What are Bollinger Bands? Oh, we just finished that training series last night. Can I plot them? Here, my biggest secret for me, the biggest reason I have success with my trades is because of the Bollinger Bands. I follow those religiously. I don't care what the market is doing or what the candlesticks may look like, but I look at what the Bollinger Bands is doing, what the squeeze is happening. The squeeze, it can go in either direction, up or down. But how can I tell when, if I'm watching it closely, is when does that Bollinger Band start to tilt up? And are both of them, one going up, one going down? The squeeze is about to pop. It can go either way. Can I plot the Bollinger Bands? Can I identify the name of each line of Bollingers? There's only three. It's only 3 lines. How many periods do they cover? What is a period? What are the advantages of looking at different time frames? Yeah, like the 5-minute candlestick, the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the difference between 24 hours, the 1 hour, the week. There's advantages. And it depends on your own plan. Are you looking to do micro trades? Are you looking to scalp? Short trades? Or are you looking for long trades? I'll tell you right now, those of you that's looking at cryptogenics, our bot is not looking to do day trading, micro scalp trading. It is a long-term trade bot. Some of our trades can last 42 to 45 days. All right? So when you say, what's the difference between what Cryptogenics has and these other companies that also have bots? What's the difference? We're doing real trading, long-term trading. We're not in for the short term. And if you're looking for short-term, immediate gratification, then that part of our program is not for you. Go back to the other programs that's skirting the line for legality and hope that they don't get shut down. That's not what we're about. Let me continue here because that's not even finished. What are the advantages of looking at different time frames? When should I look at a logarithmic versus regular line chart? What does it mean when the price of something has gone parabolic? What defines a bear and a bull market? What is a trend line? What are oscillators? Can I use all of them? Who are some renowned traders? How do I plot Elliott waves? What's the success of trading based on this strategy versus holding? Sounds like a lot, right? It is. There's no shortcut. I'll say that again. There is no shortcut here. If you want a piece of all that money that exists out there, this is the research you need to do. So for those of you that hear me from the sound of my voice, you want to make money in crypto. Those are the things you need to know. Even if you're not going to be a day trader, you need to know everything I just said. Go back, save this recording, go back and look up each one and say, okay, let me check this off my list. Do I know what this stuff means? I tell you now, cryptogenics covers most of this stuff. I see some of the ones that it doesn't because it's too advanced. The other stuff will be covered in our ongoing live trade training, which is the biggest advantage. Not advantage. Why is it I always can't get the word? What's the word when we've got something good? But it's one of the best parts of our program that's worth the money is the ongoing aspect, the live trading, the stuff I'm doing right now. All right, let's continue. It's not over yet. But that will take hours, days, weeks, months, possibly years. Value. Thank you, Jeremy. Value. The biggest value that cryptogenics is going to be offering is not the fundamental training. We also got the app. We also got the bot. But the biggest value is the ongoing training. Because as I stated in these questions, I like that. That's right, Marquise. Benefits and assets. That what you learn now will be obsolete 2 months from now. Can you imagine somebody running around last summer talking about they got educated, right? And they stopped. And then here we are, 2018, and they're still saying, yeah, China, all of the best trading, all of the volumes coming out of China. And someone's looking at, well, what are you talking about? Yeah, China was the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchanges. Did you know that China just banned all exchanges? When did that happen? 6-7 months ago? Oh. Ongoing training is a must. But of course, you thought you were just going to come into this space, make millions, and leave? No way, Buster. You need to make sure that you know as much as you can know. The more knowledge you are armed with, the smarter your decisions will be in every aspect. In fact, you will notice yourself being able to call out the bull, S-H-I-T, with startling quickness. I do. I'll call you out in a minute, real quick. In situations where you cannot tell up from down before. You guys have seen me. If you've been following me, I read articles and I can tell this is BS, or the author doesn't know what the heck they're talking about, or they have old information. You will start to become adept at looking at a chart and quickly assessing what the future direction of a given cryptocurrency will be. Yep, I can do that. You will be able to read through the white paper of an ICO and look at the promises that it makes and its development team and determine from that alone whether it is legitimate or not, somewhat so. That's not always true. What's funny is what I found, some of the scams out there, they have better websites, better videos, better information than the legitimate companies do. And I always be like, man, why don't you just go legit? They got the best stuff out there and they're the scams. You will begin to become familiar with different players in the crypto space and understand how things work. If you are not willing to do the research, then I firmly advise that you leave ASAP. Otherwise, you will be making many donations in the form of losses on the market or money that you senselessly gave over to others running groups. I agree with all of that. Never trust self-professed gurus that charge you to, didn't I just say that? That charge you to join their group or selling seats. I'm going to say that one more time because some of you actually listen to me and you're doing this. Never trust self-professed gurus that charge you to join their group or selling seats. They are usually full of SHIT, and truthfully, it is highly illegal and risky for anyone to be doing this without an official license to dispense financial advice to others. Someone asked me the other day, why haven't I joined somebody that we know that's doing something like this? Why didn't I lock arms? My reply is because I do not believe that what they are doing will be legal. And the moment all it takes is one person. It's not saying that these are bad guys. But the moment one person in the group that is not educated and they drop 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, and for whatever reason, they're not happy with the results, even if they're in the wrong in understanding how things work, you know what they're going to do? They're going to blame that guru. They're going to run to the SEC or the state board. They're going to file a class action lawsuit. They're going to scream bloody murder, and you're going to end up going to jail. All it takes is one clown that had no business being there in the first place. Even if you're doing everything right. I saw this happen. I'm part of a group that's doing this. And one person who decided to create his own little private group on WhatsApp or Telegram. Dude was like on vacation for 2 or 3 days. Did not get all the updated information that group was telling him. And by the time he came back, he went ape, S-H-I-T. And he didn't have all the information and was screaming bloody murder, talking about, I'm suing all y'all going to jail. I'm going to let the world know that you're scamming. And they told him, calm your ass down. You don't have all the info. And then afterwards, he was like, oh, my bad. But you see how quickly that happened? All it takes is one person. So to protect yourself, don't be a guru that you're going to create a group and you're going to charge seats for it and charge people. And don't join groups like this. There is also this fundamental question that I ask of most people that are currently in the crypto space. If Splink is such a guru at trading, why do they need your money to run a group? They should be making a killing on the markets. I agree with that, yes and no. Yes and no. One, yes, they can make a killing with their own information. Two, they can make even far more money by providing a service that people need to the market. So never use that argument. I don't like that. So far, everything I read in this article is correct, except that statement. So that is one of those trap statements. If you're making so much money, I mean, why you? I know people in the direct selling and in the e-commerce market, whether it's Amazon, whether it's eBay, that are making a killing. But they write books, they do seminars, they offer courses, and they charge people for their knowledge and their information. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So also don't get into the trap of asking that. That's a stupid question right there. If so-and-so was such a guru at trading, the real question you can ask is this. If such and such is such a guru at this stuff, why are they still broke? That's a better question to ask. This logic should ring true to you. In theory, if an investor put his money in the right coins and reinvested his or her returns throughout 2017, then they could have easily made north of $1 million if they started with a $100 investment. There it goes again. I started with $100. Okay. Kathy Keene, Jeremy, here's what's going to be interesting. And I call their names out because they're co-owners of Cryptogenics. I started the crypto space with $100 in August of 2017. I'm curious to see what my total profit will be August 2018 from starting with $100 in the space. I already know what I'm up to right now that I don't state publicly. But I'm curious as to where that's going to be my full 1 year in investing in this space. But this says, yeah, you could have easily made $1 million if they started with $100, assuming that they are the guru they purport themselves to be. I read an article about a so-called trader that was giving some tips on how to scalp the right way with coins. And his theory was he took 2 dimes, 20 cents, and took that 20 cents and bought some coins that were worth fractions of a penny. Those coins that were worth fractions of a penny jumped up to like $7 or $8 per coin. He took the profit from that and bought another coin that was worth like 10, 15 cents each. That coin got listed on a major exchange, and all of a sudden, it grew by 1,000%, and all of a sudden, he's sitting on $15,000. He took those $15,000, invested in an ICO. That $15,000 ICO netted him over $700,000. So, in theory, he started with 2 dimes and in less than a year turned it into $700,000 by making a series of moves in the crypto space. It's basic techniques. It wasn't rocket science what he did. I'll tell you what he did. He looked at coins that were cheap. He forecasted to see, is this coin going to go anywhere? Is it going to ever be listed on any major exchange? He took the risk. It got listed on a major exchange. He repeated the process multiple times, and then he got into an ICO that he researched on. Turned 2 dimes into $700,000 in less than a year. All right, so let me continue this. Stick to your guns no matter what. This tidbit is for the more seasoned investors out there. If you have done your homework, looked at the charts and the coin itself, and you are convinced that you have made the right choice, then stick to that choice. What do I say that pillar number 4 is? Don't get distracted. Have a game plan. Stick with it. Stay focused. That's what he's saying here. There have been times where I thought the value of a coin was going down when everyone else thought it was going up. A few of those times it looked like those people would be right. Sometimes the coin would go up 10% from the point where I announced that I thought it was going down. People would ridicule me, laugh, brag about the potential profit I was losing, and I would see all of this feedback. As a human being, the immediate temptation you will face in this scenario is to say, F it, and just grab a bag of whatever is going up in value. When I first started out investing in this space, I would do that. So did I. I did the same thing. But stick to your gut. You know what happened? I found out that more often than not, I was right. In the example I posted above where I predicted a coin going down significantly and end up getting ridiculed by others for my wrong guess, I ended up being completely right. So I essentially lost out on money that I should have never lost out on, all because I didn't trust myself. I'll give you a personal example. This was in October of last year. Myself also, Jairus Coleman did this. This was during the whole Jamie Dimon and China dip. That's what we call it, back in September. When Bitcoin skyrocketed up over $5,000. And you guys are like, well, skyrocketed? You're having a panic attack because it went from 11,000 to 8,500 in 24 hours or 48 hours. We were excited when the sucker crossed 5,000 not that long ago. And Jamie Dimon came out and started running his mouth about Bitcoin as a fraud, a scam. Somebody's going to get shot over it, killed. I'm going to fire anybody in JP Morgan Chase that trades on it. You're stupid if you get involved in it. And at the same time, China banned all cryptocurrency exchanges. So that information told me, I have a feeling the market's going to react to this. So you know what I did? I didn't sell my Bitcoins. I moved them into Tether. And not long after I did that, Bitcoin dropped from 5,400 all the way down to $3,900 in like 48 hours, or maybe it took a whole week to do that. Don't remember that. When it got back up, no, I think it was 2,900. When it got back up to 3,100, Jamie Dimon on the Swedish exchanges, his companies, bought up Bitcoin assets, the ETFs. He didn't just buy them up, he bought up the most assets. Thank you, yeah, it was 2,900. He bought up the most assets when it got to 3,100. And then the sucker shot back up. So here's what I did. When it dropped, when it was at about 3,200, I took my tether and moved it back into Bitcoin. So in essence, I ended up having more Bitcoin than I did when I moved my Bitcoin to Tether. And then the price shot up. So I didn't sell high and buy low. I just moved from one coin to another. The cost me the fee it cost me to move from Bitcoin to Tether. I don't know, at that time it was like 12 bucks or so. So it cost me 12 bucks and I made a killing on that. That one little move. Why? Education taught me that Tether is attached to the US dollar value. So if I thought that the market was about to go down, to save my tokens or my value, I move it from Bitcoin to Tether. So I kept my value even though Bitcoin dropped like a rock, and then I moved it back to Bitcoin. So it's kind of like buying the dip. And then it went back up and I made a killing on it. Little strategies like that. You got to be educated. You know what to do. That's what I did. That's my example. And I stuck to my own guns because people were telling me, oh, when it was like 5,000, oh, it's going to go to $6,000. Keep buying. I'm like, nah. According to the news, I think this thing's about to either do a market correction or it's going to retract. And that was during the time when articles were coming out. Yeah, it's going to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. And everybody's wanted to buy in. I didn't believe all that hype yet. I thought, yeah, it might hit 10,000 at the end of the year, but it's going to have ups and downs until then. And it definitely went all the way up to 19,000 in December. So let me continue here. He says, I was just sticking to my guns. I plotted everything right, did the homework, justified it to myself, and felt confident from the beginning. However, I would just price watch 24/7. That's one thing I don't want to do. Well, another reason why I love cryptogenics. I do not want to be sitting in front of my computer screen all doggone day monitoring the candles. Because in some aspects, that's what you have to do. But what I now know, with the CME, the CBOE, Wall Street, JP Morgan Chase, the big boys are coming in. And they're coming in with not only their experience, which is vastly superior to mine. They're also coming in with far more money, which means they know how to manipulate the markets. And they all probably have all auto traders coming in with them bots that there's definitely no way I can compete with. So I am not going to sit in front of the screen all doggone day trying to fight with that stuff to make my 1 or 2 or 3 or 4%. Time is money. I'd rather hire somebody or something to do it for me. That's why another reason why I love cryptogenics. Pay somebody to do it. All right. After I missed out on a few magical opportunities that I had identified from the outset, I finally had enough. It was at that point that I decided to trust myself. I knew there was a possibility that the dissenting voices would be right in some situations, but they were going to have to prove themselves right. I decided that I would live and die by my own decisions no matter what. And that's the right attitude to have. Most people, the moment they lose money, they want to blame somebody for their loss. Look in the mirror. You made that decision. You chose to follow that advice or that information. And I know that's a tough thing to do. So the conclusion. Unfortunately, there are just a few of the pitfalls that can plague every investor. I will continue to write about more of these pitfalls as time progresses. However, for the time being, I hope that this serves all those who are reading this very well and effectively adopts the role of guidelight for any and all individuals that are making their first foray into cryptocurrency investment. All right, I like this article. So the author of this is Crypto Medication. I'm going to make sure I pay attention to him, to crypto education. And I'm going to have to, this is the longest Facebook Live I've done in a couple of weeks, but it was important information and my phone is blowing up. Good grief. Keith has got a question here. What is your input on the companies out there in the cryptocurrency and foreign exchange space that claims not to be a network marketing company by saying you don't have to recruit anyone to make money? Oh, hold on. Good more. To make money, but you must pay your monthly subscription fee to be a part of this company. But they're constantly building their teams and getting paid off everyone's monthly subscriptions. Most of their income is coming from the monthly subscriptions that their team members pay and not from their actual trading. Okay, well, that's a multifaceted question there. Let me go back to the beginning. What is my input on these companies? Well, a company can label itself whatever the heck they want to label itself. I mean, if they want to call themselves a network marketing company, an MLM, a direct selling company, or just an affiliate program, that's up to them. It's up to the SEC and the FTC to decide what your company is based like. What is it looking like? At the end of the day, it's a direct selling company. You've got companies like Melaleuca, been around forever, that claim not to be an MLM company. Not to be, because they say you're making all your money from the sale of the products and goods that you want to have in your home. That's natural, that everybody needs. That's where you're making the bulk of your money. Yet, they recruit like mad people do. So if any business is designed in a way that has more than 3 levels of recruiting, then it is technically an MLM company. That doesn't mean it's bad or wrong. That's just what it is. Now, you get into the intent of the company. Can people make money by just selling the product? If the answer is no, then you know the intent of that company and the only way to make money with that company is to recruit. See, I have been a part of many companies in the past that have had great products and services, but nobody can earn a full-time income just selling the product. So you leverage other people. You build yourself a team and an organization of other people that's selling product that you're going to earn money on the same way. Again, you're earning money on the sale of those products. If the company is set up and designed, you're only making money off of them signing up in the business and not from them selling products, then now you're in great territory here. That's more of a Ponzi or a pyramid scheme. You're not making money from the product. If you're a company that's designed, I'll give you an example for Cryptogenics as an example, because we have a 2-team and a unilevel system here. But it's designed for the little guy. You can make a full-time income without recruiting a single person. In fact, a lot of the crypto space companies, some that are still here or even that got shut down, the people who are making the most money didn't come from the fact that they built huge teams. It was the fact that they invested more money than everybody else and their money worked for them. If you look at companies in the Forex space, the problem I have with the Forex companies in the MLM, one is a high cost of auto ship, $180 to $200 a month just to have access to their product. And then you got to fund your Forex accounts. And the average person doesn't have 15, 20. You want to make an impact, you got to put at least 25K in there. 25K. I experimented with it with 5K in the Forex. Why I love crypto better than Forex. The moment the market went down for 3 months, I lost more than half my money of that 5,000. When you lose it, it's gone. You got to feed the beast more money so that the more money you have in there, the better it can work for you. And that goes for any space. In the crypto space, if the market goes down, only thing you lost was your value. You still own your coins. Just like if you own a house and the market value of the house drops, you still own the house. The only way you lose is if you sell it at a low price. You just hold it and wait for the market value to go the other direction. So if you're a cryptocurrency company or you're an MLM company and you're using the crypto space, nothing wrong with that. But if the only way you're making money is by recruiting others, and you're using basically Bitcoin and crypto to gather attention, then that's wrong. And it's not going to last. It's going to have a shelf life. If you're a MLM company in the crypto space and you're providing a product and service that people can use whether they want to build the team or not, and they can make money on. See, here's another benefit of what we have with Cryptogenics. Every member, customer, and distributor gets an app. The app is your virtual assistant when it comes to trading. So now with that app armed with you and your own Bittrex, Poloniex, or whatever account, you put your own money in your own account. You trade on your own account. You're not giving your money to any company. We're providing value, plus the education. Now, here's rule number one, because there's two types of people that make a lot of money in this space. If you have a lot of money and you could put down 10,000 and more, and you don't ever have to worry about recruiting, let your money work for you, more power to you. But what about the guy who only has $100? How are you going to get to having some good results? And we're talking within the thousands of dollars from trading. I started trading with 30 bucks and turned it into 600 in 3 months. If I kept going that route, I could flip that 600 and keep flipping it and keep flipping it. But you can take advantage of a skill set by sharing the opportunity with others. You get rewarded by sharing that opportunity, meaning you're going to get some bonuses. You take the bonus that you make and you put that into your investment. Let your money work for you. Now you have more money going into your investment, and it's the profit that you made from the money you earned from sharing the opportunity with others. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it goes back to the intent. So I have a problem with companies that their only intent is to recruit as much as possible, and you're living off of that, and not actual the sale or the product of the company. The SEC has something that on that as well. Look at what happened to Vima and now Body Pro. You've got to have customers at the end of the day. And you can't have a situation where somebody's making $50,000 a month off of recruiting and $200 off of the product. Fortune High-Tech Marketing. That's what happened to them. They had a legitimate product. It was great. But their top earners were earning sick money off of recruiting and earning pennies off of the product. There was a company I was a part of that I was hoping we'd be able to turn that around. And it never happened. I couldn't be there anymore. You've got to be able to earn from the product. So I hope, Keith, that answered your question. But you took me way off course. But this is a training that I think I'm going to save, and we're going to put into our ongoing series for Cryptogenics. This is important information. So with that, thank you guys for listening. Sorry we went long this morning, but I got to get back to work. We are like less than a week away from soft launch. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, I am having a special call. It's a preparation call for pre-launch of Cryptogenics. A couple of the founders will be on. They're going to talk about what to expect for soft launch on March 15th and what to expect for pre-launch on April 1st. Then I'm going to talk about how we can prepare so that you can have the best launch in your career. You've got plenty of time to prepare for that. So we're going to go over that. We're going to go over telling your story. We're going to talk about things that you can and cannot say, what you should and should not share, how you should approach getting this business out to the public. I'm going to cover all of that tomorrow. So just follow my Facebook If you're on our groups too, I already posted the information on my Facebook, so you can go down and look at it. But it's exciting times. I've been going to sleep between 3:30 and 4 a.m. every night for the past week. This morning I went to sleep at 4:30 a.m. So I'm so excited about what we have coming, what we're bringing to the world. So thank you guys for joining us. See you all. If there's special news by tonight, late night crypto talk tonight. God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Crypto Gen X.